Hey guys, welcome to the arcade. Now, if you've been tuning into the channel, you would have known that my wife got me this little retro arcade stick for Christmas, and it was a cracker little gift. I really do like it. It came with these kind of wee fakey PlayStation controller, like a DualShock. It does feel like cheap plastic and things like that, but for the most part, these controllers work great. If you're playing any of the beat 'em up games or side scroller arcade games, they work absolutely grand. Where I had an issue was in some of the older games, because it plays Genesis or Mega Drive and Super Nintendo and things like that. So we were playing Mario World, and for the life of me I couldn't make half the jumps, and I just couldn't put it down to age. My reflexes are going, stuff like that. But the other week, me and Jason were up at Base Arcade, and they have a whole bunch of retro consoles all set up. One of which being a Super Nintendo. So we stuck on Mario World. On the same level, around near the start, I was able to make the jumps, hit the enemies dead on without having to, slow down. I was still at full run, rather when I was playing that, I had to lay off the dash button. So it got me thinking, there's a lag on that controller, like an input lag or a delay, something along those lines that you don't really see when you're playing the arcade games, but it was certainly getting to me with the Super Nintendo games. So I've hopefully picked up a solution. It's an 8-bit DO controller. Now I went for the one that kind of looks like the Super Nintendo controller, in a hope that this will work a bit better. So I'm going to plug it into the machine and we'll see exactly what it does. A very funky looking little controller. I love the wee case it's coming, because it's kind of like on display. It's kind of sitting up a wee bit. So that, oh yeah, it feels like there's a good weight to that actually. Yeah. Oh, there's a wee bit of plastic over the top. I'll get rid of that. Looks good. I like the wee analog sticks, buttons. Well, can't be sure until we get rid of that, I suppose, but yeah, buttons feels good. We've got triggers and bumpers on the back. I'm happy enough with that, so I'm going to flick on the machine here and we'll pair things up. Where is the remote? Darn it. So this is actually a first for me. It seems that this thing is completely dead. I mean, I should just be able to press the start button and power on, but there is absolutely nothing coming through. I'm looking at the wrong thing. It's on. Fuck, right, come here. So I've got the controller all paired up to the device here. So if I switch on, you can see, go right closer, flashing for the 2 and then solid 1, so I'm on 1 player. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's not accepting any input, which honestly, that was what I was afraid of, because it was the same thing that was happening when I wired in the Xbox controller. I thought it was maybe just it didn't like a wired controller, which would have been a bit weird, but it seems to be the same issue. So I'm going to have to move on to phase 2 of my idea. You'll see what I'm talking about in a few minutes. This is my other idea. So if you can't tell what it is, it's a Raspberry Pi, and it used to power the arcade racer that's behind me, but since I've started to upgrade that with a proper Intel PC, I have a Raspberry Pi free. Now, it doesn't contain as many, it's not got the memory capacity, so I'm not going to be able to do like a big build on it, but what I could do is put some home consoles onto it. Mega Drive, SNES, maybe even some Commodore 64. Now, this particular one is running RetroPie. Yes, RetroPie was what I used to power the arcade racer. So first thing I think I'm going to do is put Batocera onto it, because I'm just liking Batocera a lot more than RetroPie now. It's just a lot easier to configure, use, and it's not just going to be me using it. The wife's going to be using it. The kids will probably use it as well. It'll be a lot easier for them. So that'll be the first thing. Flush Batocera onto this, and then we'll start copying over some games. So this is the little 8BitDo wireless adapter that I got along with the controller. So it just plugs into the USB. So if I take the top off, we'll just plug it into one of the USB ports on the Raspberry Pi, and then we'll plug everything in and we'll get started. So Batocera is now running, and now because I have already paired it to this wireless controller on the other device, I simply switch on the controller and you can see it's paired, and I'm now sitting as player 1. Up on screen, it's actually come up with the 8BitDo Ultimate Wireless Controller, so Batocera's picked it up immediately and will use the configuration that it has in its base config. As you can see, I'm navigating through the menus. I do need to go down and just update the audio, because it always seems to come through an auto rather than going through the HDMI, but that's easy fixed. And I've just gone through quickly and added a couple of games to the favourites so I can just test it out. The big one I wanted to go through was, of course, Mario All-Stars and Super Mario World. So it all seems to be working. I'm going to take it through a couple of plays and we'll see how it reacts, see if there's the same lag or if gameplay's improved, I guess. So I had a few games with Mario World last night. We just wanted to see whether or not the lag was still going to be there with the controller, and it does seem to be fairly improved. I wasn't getting killed as many times, I wasn't missing my jumps, I wasn't experiencing sort of an input delay as much. I can't say for certain if it's completely eliminated it or if there was always a bit of a delay on Mario. I think it'll take me a little bit longer just to get used to it, but what I can say is the experience is drastically improved. I can, like I say, go through the areas. We made good progress last night making it onto the second island, around the donut plains, and onto the second castle. So happy that this has kind of resolved the issue that I was having, and with the Batocera build, I was able to put on NES, Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, N64, a couple of Dreamcast games, and then I did put on my Commodore 64 ones as well. I kind of just bunged them all onto it. Now, a lot of the Commodore 64 games probably won't work because they'll require keyboard input. I'm happy enough just to go through and add what I want, onto the favorites, things like Dizzy and stuff like that. I might be able to add on. That would be grand. The other ones I can just stay on there. I'm happy with how it's gone. It seems to be working really well. Batocera is dead easy to use. It detects everything, like you saw yourself. As soon as I pushed in and connected the controller, up it came with the correct title for the controller, had all of its config done. Really pleased with it. Batocera always impresses me with the ease of use, which is why I've sort of switched over to using it solely now. It is just a lot simpler and a lot easier to make use of than the other ones that are out there. Any of the other ones that I've tried, they just take a lot of config and it sort of wears you down. Whereas Batocera, they've really tried to make it as plug and play as possible. Now, the good thing with that little wireless dongle that you saw me using is it can connect up to 4 controllers onto that. So really happy that I'll be able to get another controller now and we'll be able to play proper 2-player games on that little build. So yeah, kind of happy that I was able to free up a Raspberry Pi. I'll probably be able to free up another one at some stage because I still have to work on the Raspberry Pi 5. I'm probably going to put that into the shooter build for now, and we'll see how that one goes. Maybe we'll get a bit more kick out of it, but I think eventually I'm going to replace the Pi in that with a PC as well, and we'll see if we can get some advantages out of that.
So I guess where I will leave it is here. The arcade stick is a great little gift. I really do like it. It works really well for arcade games. There is going to be compromises made from it, and that is the controllers. They are slow to respond. There's a lag somewhere between the controller and the stick itself in the games. We couldn't resolve it with a wireless controller. We couldn't resolve it with a wired controller. The two that we tried, they just didn't respond, which was I don't know how they've done that they've made these controllers proprietary. Really annoying, but keep that in mind because you see these retro sticks being sold absolutely everywhere. Just be aware of what you're getting into. It is grand, and for most games you'll not notice it. I only noticed it because we were going into things like Mario, sort of platformers that need real precision and things like that, and that's where I noticed the input lag, and it was really starting to annoy me. So we went with the Raspberry Pi, and I've done that for just the console ones. Like I've listed arcade games. I'll continue to run off that arcade stick, the retro stick, because it's full of really good games, and the controllers will work perfectly fine for that. This little one I thought is a great wee pickup. Now you can use any other controllers on the Raspberry Pi. You could use sort of any wired controllers, any wireless controllers. I wanted to pick one of these 8-bit Does up because I did want to try them. Thought it looks really cool, and the fact that I can also Bluetooth this onto the Switch is an absolute bonus as well. So I'll be able to use this in multi-purposes, I guess. Very happy with it. Very happy with the build. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section down below. Until then, I will see you again very soon. Bye bye for now.